Hey friends, it's Jeff. We're entering a new season. We have started 4 new podcasts on this channel and are working on our second book and hoping to elevate more voices in the Enneagram world over the coming year. If these episodes are important to you, there's 3 things you can do for us. First, you can buy a copy of our first book, Around the Circle, on Amazon for yourself and your 10 closest friends for Christmas. Second, you can review that book or our podcast with a note, 5 stars. This really helps people find our feed. And best of all, you can go sign up as a member at aroundthecircle.org. Even free members get half of the stuff that we post there. So go. Books, stars, memberships. This will allow us to create great content for years to come. Appreciate all you all. Appreciate your notes of encouragement, and may all good things be yours.
Welcome to Early Access. I'm Katie Whitlock. I'm here with Sara. Sara, welcome to the show.
Hi, everyone.
Sara is unique on the show, actually. She's the first guest I've had from something I've done in Cincinnati. So I've had either personal friends or people that I met just on Instagram. But Sara is somebody that I met through one of the classes that I put on in Cincinnati. So for anyone who doesn't know, I do kind of cycles of either 6-week classes or 8-week classes in Cincinnati where I live. And we just talk Enneagram theory. So you kind of have to know your number before you come in. But then we talk about what it means to be your number, how to apply it to your life, all the different groupings in the Enneagram, your stance, your affect group, all the things. And Sara is in my 8-week class right now. We just passed week 5, I think. So we're a little over halfway through.
Yep.
The other thing that's interesting about you, Sara, is that you are there with your mom and your dad. I did all my Enneagram stuff with my mom, so I love it. I think it's awesome to come with your family. If you could kind of walk us through who you are, what do you do, and then kind of how you learned about the Enneagram and kind of how your family decided to end up in this Enneagram class together. That's a lot of things at once.
Yeah. Might need a reminder, but
yeah, that's
all
fine.
good. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name's Sara. I'm 23. I have lived in Cincinnati pretty much my whole life. I would definitely call it my home. I have a mom and a dad who are really interested in the Enneagram. I also have a younger sister, and she is a senior at the University of Michigan. And I graduated from Michigan a couple years ago, class of 2024. So you can do the math. Yeah, and I'm hoping to be a doctor. So I'm currently applying to med school. But in the interim, working at Cincinnati Children's, doing a lot of this and that. My title is student, but I'm not actually a student. So it's very confusing for people.
In between.
Yep. Totally. So, yeah, I feel like, how did we get to the class?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. My mom has been interested in the Enneagram since like forever, like probably 2012 or 2013. So it's always been like something she'd talk about, and I just wrote it off. I was like, this is, I was like, yeah, okay.
Whatever, Mom. Yeah.
You do you. Plus, this is such a common like Enneagram student thing to say, but like I hated the idea of being put in a box of like, I don't want to be my number, or I don't want to be any number because I'm myself. And so I think that was very much a thing for me. But then over the past like 2 years, like after college, pre-med school, I have been kind of on a self-growth journey where I've had chronic migraines since like my junior year of high school. And so
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's really fun.
So I'm sure.
So I feel like there's a lot of and pretty bad anxiety because of that. Like always trying to calculate like, when am I going to get pain?
Yes.
Like what things will lead to pain, or what things should I avoid because of pain, whatever. So then I was like, well, maybe, and then med school is stressful. So anyways, all the things. And so I was like, well, maybe therapy would be great. Yeah, sure. So then I go to therapy, and my therapist loves the Enneagram. And
Perfect.
So then I was like, okay, great. Maybe I should get invested in this. And then we saw your class, and my mom had listened to a podcast, I think with Suzanne and you at some point or something. And she was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this girl's coming to Cincinnati, whatever. And then she was like, we'll have to do it. And I was like, why? I don't want to pay for that. And she was like, I'll pay for it. And
Perfect.
I was like, great. And then she was like, we'll also do like dinners before. And I was like, great. So then now I'm here. But yeah, it's been really fun. And I also think like such a good bonding experience, like for me, my mom and my dad, especially like I have never lived with them, just them and me before. Like my sister has when she was in high school, but it was so weird moving home and not having my sister here.
I'm sure.
So yeah, that's kind of how I ended up in the Enneagram.
That would be weird. I've never really thought about, because I'm the older sister too.
Yeah.
And I've never really thought about if I moved home right now, my sister wouldn't be there.
It's so weird.
And that would be
it's
very
so
strange.
Weird.
Because you don't have your person, like when your mom and dad start doing
going crazy,
like, whatever their
yeah.
thing is. Yeah. You don't have someone to look at and be like, these people are crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I love you, mom and dad.
I know. No, I also love my, you hear me talk about I have a very good relationship with my mom and dad.
But it's just different. And it also is. Like, they're just not your age. So then there's something, and I'm such a homebody too. So like, I'm fine with being at home. I'm fine hanging out with them. But then it's certain things I'm like, how do I explain pop culture things to them? Like, how do I explain being Gen Z to them?
It's so confusing. Explain TikTok to you right now.
Yeah. No, yeah. Like here, I have a TikTok to show you. And they're like, well, we can't open it. I'm like,
okay. Yeah, I know. I didn't know you guys did dinner beforehand. So every week before you've been coming in, you've been getting dinner and then coming in.
Yeah. Family dinners was always a big thing for us. And so moving home, that's been like one of the weirdest, strangest adjustments. Like when you're in college, it's like, oh, when can I fit my 10-minute meal in before after I'm coming home and doing the next thing or whatever. But like coming home, there's still like family dinner. And so if I want to have a social life, like I also have to calculate like when's dinner time gonna be, guys? And they don't care at all what I do. But I also don't feel like cooking my own dinner most of the time. And so they're like, well, what are you gonna do for dinner tonight? Like you're not gonna be able to eat with us. I'm like, I have lived alone for 4 years. So like, I'm fine.
I imagine there's this weird, because like they know you're an adult, they're not trying to make you not an adult.
Right.
You know you're an adult, you know how to make your own dinner. But there's this weird, like we're also still family and we do want to sit down and but also I'm an adult and don't like ask me about all my plans for the day because I don't know.
Right. I mean, but I do sometimes, you know, like
I feel the thing for me, because we're both threes, I just don't, I think I talked about this in the last class, but just like having to check in with people over and over and over is hard for me. And so that I feel like would be the aspect that was hard, to like make sure that everyone is up to date with my plans and feeling like I needed to tell everybody about what I was doing and not just being able to do whatever I wanted to do. That would be tough.
I think that is hard given how my family is. Like I know your mom, you said your mom's a 2. My mom's a 3 and my dad's a 9. So it's not as big of a deal to either one of them of like, let me sit you down and like, I want to connect with you about all the things you've done and all the things you're going to do and all the things you're doing right now. Like they only care about that because of they care about it because they love me, but they also care. Right. But it doesn't feel as like obligatory in terms of the connection. Like so many days of the week, we all sit down, we all have our TV trays and we put our nice dinner on it and then we watch The Bear. And that's like, just, like the whole, that's the whole thing. And everyone just like being together and like not engaging is what everyone needs. So
that sounds great.
It is kind of nice. I mean, it's so nice. I don't pay for anything. So
word. I know my mom went to, actually, big news. I bought my wedding dress yesterday. My mom and I went wedding dress shopping.
That's so exciting. My gosh.
We went wedding dress shopping, and then afterwards,
did you go to Reading, like in the bridal district?
I went to. So for anyone who doesn't know, in Cincinnati, we have one of like the biggest bridal districts like in the nation, and it's like 15 minutes away from us. So it's awesome. So I did go there like a couple weeks ago and we didn't find anything. Okay. So my mom and I are like, we just need to go together, just us two. And we went to a place in the town that I grew up in Dayton. And that's where we found it. But the point of that story was then afterwards she's like, well, you have an engagement photo shoot. You need to find something to wear.
White,
and she took me to Anthropologie and was like, I'll pay, like,
whatever
look
you
around
want.
for whatever you want. Like, I'll pay for it. And I was like, okay.
Anthropologie?
Thank you. Yeah.
Mom's credit card at Anthropologie.
Right.
Yes.
Hello. Thank you. So anyway, it is fun to be home. One, I love my parents and everything, but also, yes, it is fun to be home and not have to worry about like
paying for things,
buying your groceries or doing all the things. Right.
Yes.
Anyway. Okay. Let's get into a little bit of Enneagram stuff.
Yeah.
You said your mom's 3, your dad's a 9.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have a quick question. So I know your dad was kind of waffling between a few things, right? Can you tell the quick story of how he's kind of landed on 9?
Yeah. I think we have come to understand why he was waffling a lot more through the class, but he's also a doctor. He's a general pediatrician, and he is like the smartest person I know outside of his family of 4. And so, but he's very like insular, not super social. I mean, he is very good at interacting with people, but not super social. Like, he doesn't really need to go talk to people. And so we were like, well, obviously you're a 5. Like, you think all the time. You just want to stay by yourself. You want to acquire knowledge, et cetera, et cetera. But then there were things about a 9, like seeing both sides. Like, he was always very much on both sides, and then would get totally wrapped up in the both sides thing and like have no idea what the middle was. And then also he does get kind of angry at times, and he very much related to like the gut triad just generally. And so then we were like, well, maybe you're a 9. Like, now we're really confused. And then being in the class, I think we learn about how 9s very much are insular in their own way, and they use their thinking center a lot. So, and they're withdrawn. So all of that, I was like, oh, obviously he's a 9, and I think Jace is a 9. So it was the two of them interacting is so adorable to me.
I know, it's cute.
I know. And Jace like said to my dad, he was like, I see so much of myself in you. And I was like, oh my God.
he loves it. So my fiance's been gone for the past 2 weeks because he's been traveling. And he literally will text me on Monday nights, which is when the class is, and he'll be like, I'm so sad I can't come. I want to talk to everybody, like all the things. He gets so, you'll know this because you're with your dad, but I find that 9s, they need the stage set for them, but then once the stage is set, they can like come out and talk to people and connect with people and do all the things, right? But it's hard for them to,
they can't set
their own stage, right? It's hard.
Which is so funny because I don't think my dad gets like FOMO that much. But like in this situation, like if he was going to miss class, it'd be like the end of the world. Like something came up, like it would have to be literally an emergency because he's so particular about being there. And that is very resemblant of Jace's comment.
Yes. Because I think it pulls them out of themselves a little bit. And I think they really like that. Like 9s are very concerned with their purpose, right? And so to have a place where we want you to talk about yourself and we want you to figure yourself out and all the things, I think 9s love it. I think they love it.
That's cute.
Okay, enough about your dad. Just kidding. Let's talk about you.
Okay.
So your mom and you are both 3s. How did you figure out that you were a 3? Talk about that journey.
I think for me, I also had a hard time identifying as a 3. I think it was so clear to me that I work really hard, and so I was not going to be a 9 who loves to sloth. Like I love to be working and that sort of thing, but I don't super identify with like the really outgoing gregarious 3 that I feel like is the stereotype. So it took me a while, but when I learned more about like the subtypes, I really found resonance like within the variation between those, and I was like, oh, I kind of relate to all parts of these, but not any. Like I relate most to self-preservation, but like I don't But I think it was nice to see how much variation there is within one number. So that's kind of how I figured it out. And I've always lent towards 3, but I never was like fully convinced. And then I was thinking in the class, I'm like, yeah, no, everything being said about me is so true, and I hate hearing it.
Yeah. No, I know. It's terrible. But I never related. So the part of 3 that I never related to was the workaholic, because I love not doing my job. It's awesome. I don't like working all that much. Like in school, I was a procrastinator. I don't think other people would have looked at me and called me a procrastinator, but I felt like I was procrastinating. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I relate to that. Yeah.
And I felt like I took a lot of time off, and like now I feel like I have a lot of days where I love not doing things is the point, right?
Right.
But one, it's a stereotype of 3.
Right.
Joey Shuey taught me this the last weekend I was with her, but she's one of my teachers in the Enneagram, and she calls it basic bitch Enneagram, which I love. So basic bitch Enneagram is very like 3s are CEOs, they're workaholics.
Yeah.
Like you said, they're outgoing, all the things. And a lot of 3s are not like that. What I realized about myself was that I actually am often doing stuff. Like when I'm at home, not working, what I'm doing is I'm like looking at houses that I want to buy next week, or I'm wedding planning, or I'm looking at this thing. Like I'm still
like, you're never just sitting there. Are you ever
never
just
sitting there? No, no. You know what I mean? If I'm sitting there, I'm on TikTok and it's like sucked me in. But if I'm like,
but you're still like, I feel like I'm still doing something when I'm sitting and scrolling. Like I'm looking something up, or I'm on something. Yeah.
Right. I'm never, if I can pull my face out of social media, I'm always doing something. You know, it's just not always related to my job. So I didn't feel like I was a workaholic.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, no, I think I ran into a procrastination when it came to like wanting to do everything right, like do the right product. And so then, like, honestly, I'm in a procrastination thing in this very moment because I have started doing a yoga teacher training, like the 200-hour yoga teacher training. So I'm really excited about that. The next round of classes is this weekend. We got assigned homework, and I was like, yay, homework. I love homework, which no one likes that. But Katie's rolling her eyes.
It's something to do. I'm rolling my eyes at myself because I would say that same thing.
And so it's like, yay, homework. And so when the next week after the last weekend started, I was like, okay, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? I literally haven't even barely started it. And class is tomorrow. And so
what is the homework? Like, is it going to take
you? It's just reading and taking notes. But I'm like, there's a specific way I want to do it. And so I'm trying to like carve out the time to do it rather than like just doing it, you know, like, and I think that's where I get totally hung up is like, I've thought so much about the to-do list of doing it, which then I realized that not everyone thinks in to-do lists. So then I was like, then I'm definitely a 3.
Yeah. There are a few numbers that do that, but I think 3s are definitely like, what am I going to do next? Right.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing I hear in that story is resume building. So 3s, I think especially when we're young, because I did this with wine. I think we pick up a skill and we immediately want to like add it to our resume. So we like get a certificate in it, right? Or we become a teacher, or I went through like 2 levels of wine certification, all the things. I have another 3 who's a 3 friend who's a therapist, and she's a little older now, but she said in her 20s, she was like getting degree after degree after certificate in mental health counseling, stuff like that, right? So that is not to say that we shouldn't do those things, right? I'm very glad I have my wine certifications. Yoga teaching is going to be a lot of fun. I'm only pointing out that we jump into the like thing that you can hold up and tell people, yeah, I did this thing. I think so much sooner than other numbers do. What's my question for you here? What's the draw for you to get a yoga teacher certification versus just doing yoga? Like, why become a teacher?
Well, I think one of the biggest things for me was when I go to med school, like, how am I going to keep up this practice that I love? The studio's less than 5 minutes from my house. I can leave at 7:25, get there at 7:27 and be ready to go for yoga.
Mm-hmm.
How is that going to work in med school when I know for a fact it will never be this convenient ever again? And so I was like, well, if I learn how yoga works, then I can design my own classes. That would be great. So I think that was like the biggest draw, but it also like, I think I was definitely the first person to sign up out of literally anyone else. And every yoga teacher at my studio was like, we just want to shout out Sara for being the first one to sign up. And I was like, yep, that's me.
And thank you. Yeah.
So the only like hemming and hawing I had at all about doing it was cost and like purely taking up my time during this time, like during these gap years, which is an insane thing to say out loud because like that's the whole point, like is to develop myself and not do school. But yeah, I think that was kind of the draw.
Yeah. I think like when I'm thinking of when I got my wine certification, so I look back and it was a time in my life, kind of the same thing, like gap year adjacent. It wasn't, but I felt like I didn't have much to do. I didn't have my Enneagram business yet, and I was just doing one job.
Just one.
Only one job. I was just bartending, and that was, I went in at 4 p.m. and so I had my whole day, before I went in, and so I just felt like I wasn't doing anything, even though I was working. For restaurant industry full-time is around 30 hours, so I was restaurant full-time, but I just felt like I wasn't doing anything at all. And I was like, the bigger thing as I'm thinking of it right now, I felt like I had no forward movement whatsoever. Like I was just at this job and it was great. I love my bartending job. It's phenomenal. But that could have been it forever. Like if I had just never picked up anything, I just would have done that for years. I would have woken up and I would have gone to work and done the same thing, and I would not have been moving forward at all. So I think in some subconscious level of my brain, I was very, very, very uncomfortable with not feeling like I was moving forward. And so I was like, what can I do that would fit into my life right now that would make me feel like I was doing something? And I think the wine certification was the answer, right? Like I was like, I could take this class, my restaurant will pay for it, and that's one, I could turn it into something. Like then I've proven that I actually do know these things, and it just gives me something to do that makes me feel like I'm going to be better later.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like you're working towards this better vision of yourself.
Yes. Right. Do you relate to any of that with this yoga teacher stuff?
I think not necessarily with the yoga teacher stuff. This is totally like me trying to, as a chronic migraine person, I have like totally dissociated from my body most of my life because the pain, if I dissociate, then the pain goes away. So like, that's great. Turns out that's not the best coping mechanism.
Really? That's crazy.
It turns out it doesn't work that way. And so then other things like really bad neck pain or really bad back pain or whatever happen. And so, but I had no idea these were like developing because all of a sudden it's just really bad. So anyways, all of the yoga was like an attempt to figure out how to better myself. But now that I'm thinking about this out loud, I think it's also to like be a better doctor of like this like integrative approach that I have always needed as like, I mean, all the migraine protocols go out the window when you come in and someone says like they have headaches all the time. And so how can I be a better doctor for other people with like a similarly difficult set of symptoms or life experiences? So I think that was kind of also why I did it.
For sure.
So I think, yes, I do relate. I also think the forward movement thing, like if I don't feel like there's a choice or like for an option or it has to be multiple options, I get so claustrophobic, like energetically. And so that was a big struggle, honestly, just like sending in the med school applications of like, oh my God, I'm pinning myself down. Like, I've chosen to be a doctor, which like, that's crazy because there's so many things I can do with a medical degree aside from just be your average doctor. But it was still so eye-opening for myself of like, oh my gosh, this is happening. But yeah.
When we were talking about this podcast ahead of time, you said in your little application that the med school application was actually tough for you because for the first time you had to write about why you want to be a doctor, right?
Yeah.
Tell that story. What part of that was hard for you, and why do you think that was so hard?
I think the hardest part for me about deciding, I think there's two things here. One, I knew I wanted to go to medical school. Like, I like school. I'm good at school. I knew I wanted to learn more about the human body and all of the things that go with being a doctor. But that's not why medical schools want you. Like, they know they have a bunch of good students applying. But I still really struggled to, even though I knew like in my body, like I knew that I wanted to be a doctor, but having to like write that down and explain like what my vision was for myself in concrete words was just so agonizing. And like trying to come up with a vision statement that's not literally what I'm doing right now, which is just mumbling and bumbling my way self through things. Like, that's so scary. And like, someone's gonna read this about me? No, don't know. Yeah. But I think that was really challenging.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, so I want to go back to what you said in the little application. So when I have people come on the show, I have them fill out this little, like I said, an application of kind of just tell me a little bit about yourself. And you wrote down, recently in my medical school applications, it was a strange feeling to explain why I wanted to be a doctor in terms of my mission in life, rather than just the goals I have for myself, which I so relate to.
Yeah.
Like, well, I want to do this because I want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, why do I want to? I think the difference is, why do you want to be a doctor versus why do you want to do medical school?
Do doctor.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you want to do doctor? Well, I want to do doctor because it's my goal, right? Like I want to.
I've always set this goal for myself. Like, well, then what are you going to do? Like, how are you going to do your degree? And like, how are you going to be any different than any other doctor? Yeah. And you're like, well, that's a large task. Right. Yes. No, I think that's still really true. I'm kind of surprised I wrote that down.
It was really good. I read it and I was like, that's a good topic to talk about. Because I think a lot of threes relate to that. I think a lot of, I'm not hearing this in what you're saying, but I went to school for biology, so I knew a lot of people who were going to med school. And I think a lot of people, obviously not all of them are threes, but a lot of people end up in med school because that's just like the next thing that they're doing, right? And I just remember thinking, I don't know if you all have ever taken the time to be like, why do I want to be this? Right?
Like, what's the point of, like, why? And I think for me, like, I have such a unique experience for that because I went in to college as a nursing student. And so then it was freshman year and it was COVID and it was horrible. So that all sucked, but also the classes sucked. And I was like, well, I don't want to be this. Like, I don't want to be the person who is always thinking about positions of authority and interprofessional conflict, because nurses are absolutely the butt of all of that.
Yes.
And so I didn't want to be that, though all my friends were, and I have so much respect for all of my friends. So shout out all of the nurses out there, especially on National Nurses Month, Pediatric Nurses Month, or something like that. Anyways.
Is it right now, October?
I think so. I don't know. It's I think it's Pediatric Nurses and ED Nurses Week. And one of my best friend is an ED nurse at Pitt. Okay. So if you haven't seen the Pitt, the show, you might get weirded out by that. I don't know if you're a medical person, but
it's fine.
The Pitt on HBO Max is so good. Anyways, where was I? Oh, no. Okay, nursing student. So anyways, I had a unique perspective on like, well, I know I don't want to do that, but like I also know I want to be in healthcare. And so I think it still took me a little bit to fully commit to like, I know I want to be a doctor and I want to use my medical knowledge that is given to me like as a privilege to like help others rather than just like, well, I'll make money and that's good. Like everyone has to have a job, so
Here we go.
Here we go.
Why
This
not
will be
do a really
mine.
good one?
Right.
Yeah.
Like I'll choose this one. Like I drew this card, so I don't know.
Was there, okay, I might be about to expose a horrible, horrible part of myself, but threes see in comparison, okay? We see in competitive comparison. That's just how we walk in a room, right? We compare ourselves to people all the time. We compare other people to other people. Everything. We compare everything. Was there any part of you that was like, why be a nurse when I could be a doctor?
Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's so horrible to say. And I think I think the biggest thing for me was that I knew I wanted to go into advanced practice. And so I was either going to go through the nursing, which then I would have to do like the floor nursing thing for a little bit to get experience and then go on to advanced practice, like your nurse practitioners, etc. But I had such a superiority complex my freshman year compared to everybody else. And I think that really got to me of like, well, I don't identify with most of these people. And the people that I do identify with are also struggling with the fact that they don't identify with this. So like, I'm out of here. Plus, I think it would have been so different if we were all in person, but because it was online video about everything, it was so distant and like the culture wasn't there for me. And not that it was really for pre-med culture. I'm not saying pre-med culture sucks, but I think that
but you struggle together at least. You know what I mean?
But I think
like,
it's a collective, you're collectively moving towards this ultimate struggle versus like, I think I don't know. That was just challenging. I don't know what this is really
I think
saying,
threes really struggle in isolation. Because you don't have, whether it be for better or for worse, you don't have anybody to look at.
Like benchmark it. Yeah.
To benchmark. And maybe that's healthy for us in some way, but it also feels really, really lonely because I don't think we are good at knowing ourselves if we can't benchmark against other people, which is I hate saying that out loud. That's a horror. I wish I wasn't like that, but it just is true. You know what I mean? I felt that way during COVID too. That was my senior year of college.
Okay.
And I just was like, this kind of sucks. Like I liked being in lab with people and doing the labs with people and like seeing, not even like seeing, oh, I'm doing that problem much faster than that other person, but just knowing it is comforting for me to know where other people are and where I am in relation to them.
Right.
And to be so isolated like that on COVID was very, I think, unsettling and just like really, really lonely. I mean, it was lonely for everybody, but I didn't like it.
Yeah. And I think especially in settings where like it's so hard, like which comes first, the chicken or the egg? Like, do I feel better than people because I feel isolated, or like am I isolated and therefore I think I'm better than everyone else because of the way I'm performing? And that is terrible. I can't even believe I'm saying this out loud, but
I get it.
I think, and honestly, I'm working on a project at work and I've done an amazing job, et cetera, et cetera. And I was talking to my therapist. I was like, whoever they're going to put in charge of this is going to be terrible at it. I just know. And I was like, I know they don't think they're fit for the project, et cetera. And she was like, you don't think you're fit for the project. Like, what are you going to do about that? And I was like, ugh. And I was like, oh, ouch. Like that hurt, but true.
What was she saying? That was she calling you out? Like you don't even think you're
right. Like you think you're better than the project. So what about their perspective is any different than what? Like you're not really in a place to criticize how they think because you think you're better than the project. And I was like, yeah, you're so right.
I know. I think that's something we really, really struggle with. I think especially when we're young, is that we don't, as I grow up, I am seeing that a lot of times we don't have context for we just think that we're better than other people with no context, right? For what that person's going through, or like that they're also a full person that probably might actually might be better than me and all the things. We just kind of come to the world with this assumption that we are the best one to handle it, which turns out to be true sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes it is true, but a lot of times it's not, right?
Right. And I think that's another thing that I didn't totally identify with as a 3 is I was like, well, I'm not the most self-confident person here. Like, I don't totally identify with like just walking out of the house and feeling great about things. Like, I do worry a lot about various things. But I think when it comes to the way that I set goals for myself, like, I know I'm the best one to achieve that goal. And so I'm going to do it. Yeah. And everyone needs to just like take a step back while I'll do my thing. And then you guys can like run and catch up, because I need to do my thing and I'm the best at it. So like, just hold on.
Yeah. I think a lot of time, this is actually interesting to talk about. I think a lot of descriptions of 3s who are so confident and all the things. Yeah. One, I think that is true. Yeah. But like you said, but a lot of times that's also written by other people about 3s, and 3s appear so confident. Right. That certainly is true.
That's true. Yeah.
But if you had to talk a little bit about the disconnection between how you present, which is so confident, versus how you're actually feeling about yourself, what would you say? Would you say that you do not feel as confident on the inside as maybe you look to other people?
I think yes. I mean,
what are you insecure about? I think is my question. Like, because other people think 3s have it all together, that we're so confident, that we're so good at everything because we present ourselves like that, right? So if you had to tell people kind of how to deal with the 3s in their life, right?
Right.
Like, what do you get insecure about?
Honestly, I think I get most insecure that, one, I think as a girl, it's really easy to just get insecure about appearance. And so I think I never shared clothes with my sister, which as an older sister is like a taboo thing to do. Like, the younger sister always gets to borrow the older sister's clothes. And my sister hated me for it. And I was like, you're not using my clothes because these are my clothes. And like, this is my style. And that's not your style. Like, if you wanted these clothes, you could have bought them for yourself. But like, or my mom could have bought them for you, but my mom bought me these clothes. So like, this is my style.
Yeah.
And so I think appearance is a big thing for me. Not that I'm like really trying, but appearance is a thing.
Also, can I interject really quickly? Also, what I'm hearing in that is, I have had it told to me, again by Joey Shuey, that 3s are really scared of originality. We don't trust ourselves to come up with something. But what we are really good at is seeing things out in the world that work well and like adapting and like adopting.
Yes.
Them, right?
Oh my gosh. My mom always asks me for fashion advice.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm not that good. I just know. But she loves my advice. And which is funny because she's also a 3, but I think I'm really good at mimicking.
Yeah. And what I'm hearing in that is like not letting your sister borrow your clothes. I'm just thinking of how I would feel like if I did that same thing. And it's because like, what if you pull it off better?
You're gone.
Like, I'm wearing these clothes because I've curated this into an image. And that means that you could steal it. Like, it's not just this like self-confident, I wear these clothes because I like them. I wear these clothes. Yeah. Like, there is a fear that this thing that you have constructed could crumble. So no, you can't borrow my clothes, right? Because then it's not unique to me. It's not my own. All the things. And like, if you get a compliment on that shirt that I really like and it's mine, but you're wearing it when you get the compliment, that's no good. Like, it's my shirt. Yeah.
Like,
yes.
Then it's like, well, then did they not like it when I wore it? And then this whole, then it spirals.
Competitive comparison all over again. Yeah. Okay. Were you gonna say something else about the insecurity?
I was gonna think the other thing that's just like a big thing for me is I'm so insecure about seeming weak, especially with the migraine thing of like, I need a lot of breaks because of the pain, and like I have to split things up, and I have to eat 3 meals a day, and I have to eat them at a very specific time, which I can't believe I'm saying this out loud because like every human needs to be eating and drinking and sleeping and doing all the normal things. But I'm so insecure about the fact that I schedule things so particularly about that. And so I think like I very much compensate with like during the times when I'm not eating or I'm not sleeping or whatever, it's just like go crazy. Like sitting at the computer for 3 hours a day, getting the most, like 3 hours straight, just like completely grinding through whatever is put in front of me, even though that's also destructive. Like you can't sit there for 3 hours, especially sitting there for 3 hours is my favorite trick of mine. Joking. Of sitting there for 3 hours, having to pee the whole time, and then being like, well, I have to get this done, and I'm not going to pee until I get this done.
Yeah.
Which, so anyways, I don't know. That's like, I think being weak or like having my own needs, it's a concern.
Yeah. I think 3s feel really uncomfortable when we are reminded that we are not in control of every aspect of our lives. Yeah. And I imagine that all this migraine stuff reminds you that you are not in control of everything. Like your body needs you to eat 3 times a day. It needs you to sleep a certain amount of hours, and that's not up to you. And that would, like, I'm thinking if that was me, that would, one, it would piss me off.
Well, and that's what I get so standoffish. I'm like, well, I'm just not going to take medicine because like I need to, everything's fine. Like I'm fine.
Yeah. And 2, I wouldn't want anyone else to feel like they needed to take care of that for me. And I wouldn't want people to know. Like for some, like even like when you're saying that, I'm like, there's no reason to be embarrassed or whatever. But if I'm imagining that happening to me, I'm like, no, I would be embarrassed because I don't want people to know that they need to work around me. Right. Because I'm not a person that you need to work around. Right.
I think that's a big thing of like, especially in college, like alcohol was a huge migraine trigger. And so people would be like, well, like, when do you want to leave? Because I know you're going to want to get home. And I'm like, no, I'll just not go.
No, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about me. I'll just not go. And you guys have a fun night. And I'll stay home and do what I want to do. And sometimes that's great because like I actually don't super love going out and partying and doing the whole 20-year-old thing. But at the same time, I do think there's a lot that I missed out on because of the way that I prioritized other people's experiences over my own. Yeah. So
I think you're like opening up a lot for 3 for me right now because I relate to this so much. I think one of the hardest parts about being a 3 and one of the saddest parts about being a 3 is this utter aversion to having anyone know that you need something. Yes. And it keeps us from community, and it like keeps us from friends and like all the things. I don't know if it's been hard for you to make friends. It was always hard for me to make friends. And looking back, I bet that was a big part of it because I never wanted to show people my real life because my real life required them to work around it, as everyone does, right? Like everyone has needs, everyone has things that they need to get done. And I never wanted to show that to people. So then I like didn't get close friends because that's what that requires, right? Yeah. And especially for women.
I think the biggest thing that's coming up for me is like the way I've been in relationships of like I don't have a boyfriend, and every boyfriend I've had has been like 6 to 8 months because like by the time that period comes around, I'm like, okay, you're too slow. Like move out of my way.
I'm laughing or the same way.
Or like they need so much, like which is probably a totally reasonable request, but like
they need a normal amount of things.
They need a normal amount of things. You want to hang out 3 times a week? Nope, not gonna work. And then it doesn't work for them to hang out once a week for a dinner. For me, that's what I need. And so then it's no good. Like, and then I'm like, well, I have to break up with you because this isn't working for me. Yeah. Which I think is really sad.
Yeah, it is. I think it's sad too. Like, I think part of 3, I think a big part of 3 that people don't talk about because they're not 3s and 3s don't talk about it.
Yeah, why would we? Why would we
why
talk
would
about
we?
it?
is being really lonely and not knowing that you are lonely / convincing yourself that you don't care /
yes.
Yeah, those 2 things. Either not knowing because you're so separated from it that you don't care, or convincing yourself that you don't care because you have all these other things going on, or convincing yourself that it's like annoying to like need other people and to want other people in your life, and it's slow and all the things, and like that means you have to slow down, and obviously I'm not going to do that.
Yeah,
but
why
the
would
end result is that you're lonely and you just walk through life a little lonely. You know what I mean? Like I tell people all the time, college was the worst part of my life because I was so lonely because I didn't know how to make friends. And it was all this like, you're allowed to see the first 20% of me and you're not allowed to see the rest. Right? I didn't know it at the time, but that's what I was doing.
Right. I think fortunately, like, COVID forced certain people to be able to see the whatever of you, because like you had to like, okay, you had your like 4 friends that all you guys were all doing the same thing, and you trusted them to not go to the frats, or you trusted them not to go to the bars, and so you weren't going to get COVID. So I think that did super help me in college, because my closest friends I met freshman year in that weird environment.
Yeah.
But I think it was really hard for me to make friends after that, like just through classes and stuff. So I think it very much has to be forced upon me, where it's like, okay, you're going to be stuck here for like 7 hours and good luck. And versus like casual, like becoming really good friends with someone based on a series of interactions, I feel like doesn't work as well as like you're sitting here for 5 hours and you have to. It's that, or you're just going to sit there in awkwardness, which I would avoid that.
No, I agree. Yeah, that sounds worse.
Yeah, like awkwardness worse. Like I'll just do small talk for 5 hours and we'll probably get somewhere. But I think a big thing for me, at least recently, was like, I'm fine living alone for the rest of my life. That's fine with me. And then I was like, honestly, that'd be so sad. Like that's so sad to say. Yeah. And then I was like, well, but what am I going to do about that? You know what I mean? Like I just have all these, like, this is one of the 3 feeling things that I'm like, I have no idea what to do about that. And so I'm just like, get rid of those feelings.
Oh, so I just won't deal with it. Yeah.
So I just won't deal with that. Yeah.
That'll happen when it comes later.
Right. Exactly.
I love this idea that you have brought up of it has to be forced upon a 3 to be close with somebody. And then we can realize like, oh, this is the thing we've been missing. I should do this with more people.
Right.
But like I don't know if I told this example in the class yet. Anybody listening, you might have heard me tell this story somewhere else. But my version of that is with my fiance. Something happened and it basically made me have a panic attack in front of him, almost. I don't think it was a real panic attack, but it was as close as I've ever gotten. Sobbing, like ugly crying on the floor of the shower. Like it was horrible. It was horrible. And I tried to call my mom because that's the only person I've ever been like that in front of. And she didn't pick up because it was like midnight. So I couldn't do it to her. So I was forced. And you know, when you have that big of an emotion, like you can't just
bottle it up
doing it. Right. Yeah. Right. So I was basically forced to have this big like undoing in front of Jace. And surprise, surprise, he like didn't hate me afterwards or think I was weird or like whatever. Yeah, he just was like, oh, you're really hurt. Like, you know, let's go to bed and we can like sleep and you'll feel better and we can talk about it in the morning and all this stuff. And in the morning I was like, oh, you don't think I'm like a freak for having emotions? And he was like, no.
As if it would ever occur to him that was an issue.
That would ever occur to him. But that was like, I look back now and that was such a turning point for me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, people don't mind. People don't mind. Like, I'm the one that minds.
I mind.
I mind, right? Like, but if I could just let myself, maybe I don't have to get to panic attack level, but if I could let myself be open more than 20% in front of my friends, like maybe I'd feel like I had better friends. And then I did. Like, it worked.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I love the idea of it being forced on us because I don't think I ever would have gotten there by myself.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and there's like a lot of my friends are my friends because of like a collective trauma that we went through. Like COVID was totally traumatic.
Yeah.
And then like roommates are traumatic. So then you become better friends with your other roommates. So I think that like totally is like life just forcing things upon you. That's interesting.
All right.
Sorry that happened.
No, it's okay. It honestly was fine. I was not to like make myself sad. I was having a little bit of an overreaction to something, but
It comes out.
Somebody said something to me at work, and I like totally overthought it and thought that they like hated me forever and wanted me like out of the restaurant and all the things, and that's not what happened.
That's not what happened at all.
I thought myself into totally freaking out about it. Mm-hmm. So thank you. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. Here's my last question for you. Okay. Mm-hmm. I ask everybody this at the end of every podcast. You said you're 23. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're going to go back 10 years. You're 13. What would you tell her if you could talk to her?
I probably would tell her that it's okay to slow down, and that I would have hated to hear this because it sounds like something my parents would have said. So I can't even believe I'm going to say it out loud. But I think I would have said something to the effect of like, C's get degrees, because I didn't get my first B. I didn't get an A- in high school. I didn't get my first B until college when I took organic chemistry, which is like the world's worst class on planet Earth.
It is.
And I sobbed for hours about this B, which didn't even matter, right? It doesn't even matter.
Nobody
It doesn't
cares.
even matter. It does not even matter. No one's going to find out either. That's the thing. And like my friends had no idea. And I was like, well, I got a B in organic chemistry. Anyways, it was such a big deal to me at 13, 14, and 15, what my grades were and how to calculate what I need to get on the exam to get an A in the class, etc. And so I think I would have lessened that. I would have hoped to lessen that, burden.
That's good advice. I would have told myself the same thing too. I think I would tell myself you're not better than other people for getting an A.
Yep.
You know, like it's not important, and also it doesn't make you a better person.
I think, like your A doesn't make you a better person.
Yeah.
You actually have to be a better person, not do into being a better person.
Yes. Love it. Alrighty, well, thank you, Sarah, for being here.
You're so welcome, Katie. This was fun.
So many beautiful things to say. I think this was one of my favorite episodes. Yeah.
Oh.
For real.
Okay.
So compare that.
I know. I'm like, oh my God. Thank you. I try.